How's it going? Rhythmia Life. What's up, everybody? It's Dr. Jeff. Nice to see you. I'm here in Rhythmia in Costa Rica. Everything's going really well. Lots of people here this week. Miss you guys. Today, I want to talk about a couple things. One of them is addiction. And, I've talked about this a lot, because I have a background in addiction, ran a rehab, did internships at rehabs, have a lot of experience with addiction and what that all means. And so, a big question I get from people that are alumni is, they have a family member or a friend that has an addiction issue, and they want to know like what it will take for them to come here. So, I used to run a rehab, and what I saw is, if most people go to a rehab for like 30 days, and if they're detoxing, which is pretty much everybody, they're in the detox unit for about 10 to 14 days. So that right there, that's almost half your stay at the rehab. And then they're in theory supposed to get some therapy or some groups and get a couple things going on after that. And so you got about, 2 weeks more of kind of therapy. And then supposedly you go home, you're sober, right? So that's why those statistics on rehabs are not good. So, what I recommend for rhythmia and for people that are coming here that have an addiction history is to just get detoxed before you arrive. We can detox you here, but it's just not, it's not worth your money. It's not worth your effort. You'll be, no, you won't be a part of the group because you can't do plant medicine until you're detoxed. So what I recommend is you detox before you arrive. And there's places that just do detox. And there's a different protocol for detox for alcohol and for heroin and opiates and benzodiazepines, which are Xanax and Valium and Klonopin and all that. There's a detox protocol that you can get medically kind of handled. You can come right to Rhythmia. So I recommend that for people to have addiction. So here we're not a rehab technically, but we have people that have lots of history of addiction and lots of things they've been dealing with. And so what I want to do is make sure that you guys understand what that means for your friends and family. So if somebody has an alcohol addiction, again, everybody's a little different. Some people drink, a bottle of wine a night for years. Some people are drinking tons of hard alcohol all day, right? So there's a little bit of a difference between those two people. And, there's a detox that's a little different for them. Back in the old days when somebody was detoxing off alcohol, years ago, like in the 40s and the 50s, they used to give them an IV of alcohol because because if you're detoxing off alcohol and you're a really hardcore drinker, if you stop cold turkey, what happens is you go into seizure. It's super dangerous. So we don't recommend stopping cold turkey. We recommend having a medical detox, which involves Ativan, Neurontin, a couple of comfort meds help you kind of taper off. Now we all know meds are problematic and all that, right? But if you have an addiction, if you gotta taper safely with sometimes some meds. That's kind of just normal, right? For safety. Now, benzodiazepines in particular, Xanax and Klonopin and Valium, those things are probably the worst things to come off of. So if you're prescribed as needed, usually is what they say, as needed a Xanax throughout the day and at night to sleep. Be very cautious with that. Very, very cautious because benzos can really quickly turn into a chemical physical dependency. So what I recommend for people is they don't ever touch benzos. Don't ever bother with that because you might have a high serotonin level. You need to calm down. Okay, meditation, have a routine for sleep, do some exercise in the day, sometime whenever. Live a lifestyle that is physically based, walking your dog, doing things that are a little bit more, let's say, appropriate medically for you. Don't rely on Xanax. Don't rely on Ativan and Klonopin, and which is the same thing. And don't rely on those meds, the benzos. Those are the worst. Those take the longest to come off of. Heroin is actually easy compared to Ativan and Klonopin and Xanax if you have a really high dose you're taking. It's actually easier. Now, I say it with a grain of salt because we all know that like heroin addiction is brutal, right? To come off of the withdrawals are hardcore. But what I've seen is, heroin is like 14 days detox. Xanax, a high dose of Xanax is sometimes 90 days detox. Okay, so for your friends and family that want to come to Rhythmia, that have an addiction issue, yes, we can work with them. Yes, we can. I'll talk to you if you need me to before they get here. I'll work with you. But show up here detoxed already because you can jump right into the program, get right to the plant medicine. You can resolve your underlying issues. You can resolve your emotional, psychological, spiritual stuff. And then you can also resolve the neurochemical side with this plant medicine. And that's the rebalancing of the neurochemistry, the dopamine, the serotonin, the norepinephrine. Both those things get addressed with plant medicine and with our program. We all know that physical activity is important for addiction. And so massage and jumping in the pool, going to the beach, going to the gym, all that stuff's good. Going for a walk, it doesn't have to be anything brutal, just something physical, get your kind of endorphins going a little bit. All that is helpful for addiction. So for all you guys that are, you have friends and family that want to come here, you got some people that have struggled with addiction. I just want you to know that yes, we can deal with it, but primarily get some recovery first. Get a detox, a medical detox done beforehand. And there's a lot of these days. There's a lot of these doctors called naturopaths, and they're doctors that are a little bit more open to stuff, and they look at things that are maybe not med based all the time, and they're a little bit more kind of like the Rhythmia vibe. I'm all for those docs, right? The naturopaths. So those are people, when you're in a rural area in the United States, it's a little rough. I don't know how many naturopaths are in Europe. I think there's a few in Canada, but it's hard to find these types of doctors. Go on the internet, type in naturopathic doctors, and see what comes up in your area. And you're in charge of your healthcare. These doctors, right? Like they're the specialists. They have, they've studied more than you have, right? Supposedly. I love that. Just because they've read a few more books, they know what's best for you. Okay, so I'll tell you right now, I've read millions of books, and I don't know what's best for you. I can kind of maybe guess and have a general idea, but you're living your life, and your friends and family are living their life. And what's best for you, what's best for them is really what you can connect with yourself and really be plugged into, who you are as a person. So addiction is one of my things, one of my main deals, because it's so rampant in society, especially this opiate crisis. It's such a scam. It's such a freaking ridiculous thing that, you have some chronic pain and if you have fourth stage cancer, you're in pain. Okay, good. I love opiates. They're the best things in the world for people. They're a miracle medicine, but they're not for everybody. They're not needed at the level they're prescribed. It's actually a total scam. It's a business. So, I am in favor of people post-surgery having some opiates to help them for a couple weeks. Then that's it. That's it. They're off of them. And they start to rehabilitate, go to physical therapy, do things for themselves. I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know. I've had friends and family that have been on these things, and it's not easy. But what's the goal here, right? What is the goal? Do you want to be dependent on a medical system that really doesn't even give a crap about who you are as a person at all? Or do you want to be independent and have your own free will and do things for yourself that benefit you, right? So what I say to people that have friends and family that want to come here that have addiction, watch my videos. Have them watch this video. Have them watch some of my Facebook Live videos where I talk about addiction, explained detail. And that will help them kind of understand a little bit about what's going on. So, there's a lot of things that happen in life that are very problematic for us. And it depends if we need to focus on who we are as people and get things sorted out for us. I want to empower the guests. I want to empower you guys. The way to do it is to connect with your soul, connect with yourself. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys watching the Rhythmia live and the Rhythmia life and all the. I hope you're using the tincture every night. It keeps you in the plant medicine zone. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next couple weeks from now. Pura vida from Costa Rica. We miss you. Hope to see you soon.